Perfect.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rod Murray again with a great episode ahead of the Monday Night Football matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is What's the Game Plan. You know, we take two content creators and fans of opposing teams and quiz them on questions they should know about the opposing team for the opposing matchup. For this week, we have Bret representing the Los Angeles Rams, and we have Ren representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. The Bucs are in rare water, 7-3. Haven't seen that since, I don't know, high school.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. So we're excited. We're excited over here in Tampa Bay. You know, we got a team that's winning games. It's just weird.
Feels refreshing, right?
It is refreshing, but I will say that it's a completely different. I've been podcasting the PewterCast. We've been doing it for 5 years. It's a completely, like, we have to totally shift on what we talk about, because it's always usually about, well, the scheme's bad and the player, or this player's bad, or the coach is bad, or, like, you know, now we're 7-3. It's like, well, how good are we? Like, I'm not used to
The conversation has changed, right?
Having a conversation about a winning team. So it's very nice, but I'm still honestly a little kind of like a fish out of water on some of these podcasts we do.
Yeah, we figured out. Well, since you've already alluded to it, we'll let you go first. Introduce yourself and what do you do as content creating for the Bucs? Sure.
I go by Ren Daxt on Twitter. That's the best place to find me. My name's right there. My handle, REN_DAXT. I'm a co-host of a podcast called the PewterCast. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter through Periscope. We're on Facebook, and we also have our own website called the PewterCast.live. It's pretty sharp. I like it. Nice and clean. And we are a fan-based podcast. We're not football experts, but we are expert fans. And we've been doing it for 5 years. You know, during the season, the first 4 years we did 4 shows a week. We whittled that down to 3 this week. And then during the off season, we do a show about every 2 weeks. And, you know, we've got enough traction where now we actually get passes to training camp. So we get credentialed during training camp. So, you know, we get to go in the media room, which is super cool. And you get to, you know, be in the scrums and you know, ask BA and not Tom Brady, because we didn't try this year with all the restrictions, but, you know, ask Mike Evans and, you know, just sort of get a behind the scenes look, which makes our podcast a little different. We're almost at hitting 500 episodes, and we were well past 500,000 downloads. So, you know, keep on keeping on.
That's amazing. Consistency is the key. Bret, representing the 6-3 Los Angeles Rams. How about yourself, sir?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm the site expert for RamblingFan, which is one of the subsidiaries for Fansided network that covers pretty much all the sports, major sports out there, plus a number of entertainment venues as well. The Rams are 6-3, and there is a little sense of not talking too highly about them. Because there's always that knock on wood jinx factor that everybody on social media is quick to jump on me when I get a little too ambitious or optimistic about the team. We do have the blog, Fansided, Rambling Fan. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter handle. You can check us out at Rambling Fan on Twitter. We're always eager to talk to other teams, fans, especially our own. We think we have a pretty good team, but as is the case at week 10, you don't know just how good it is, because now you start to get really down to the crunch of the playoff run. And this is going to be one hell of a matchup, because I will tell you that as far as two teams that could go either way, in my mind, this is about as up in the air as any contest so far this year.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I'm sure Ren didn't expect what happened at the New Orleans game to happen a couple of weeks back, and the Miami game with you all, the Rams, a few weeks ago as well. So you're right. There's teams that can get hot and cold real fast, but I think between the two we have a great matchup. So If you've seen the show before, you know the rules. We do a fast 4-round questioning of data analytical stats that we pull from various sites. We will quiz our opponents on them. In the event after we get the four rounds or 4 quarters, the score is tied, we go to overtime. In overtime, each opponent will have the opportunity to choose a question between 1 to 3, and the questions will get heavier depending on the degree of difficulty. So 1 point's usually a layup. If it's 3, they're gonna have to dig in the bank a little bit and see how much they know about their teams. Any questions so far?
Fire away.
Bret, as the
I want to win.
That's usually go for everybody. I hope
Yeah,
y'all having a good time and want to win.
Just gonna put that out there.
We shall see. Well, maybe Bret take it easy on you. We will see. If Bret takes
I'm not above cheating or bribery. So.
We'll see. Bret, as the visiting team, you can decide whether first you want to take the first question or let Ren go first.
Oh, I would definitely want the ball first.
That's a first. That's a first. So I was saying, past defense is usually the best offense. But Bret, here we go. First quarter. What's the game plan? Bret, your question. The Buccaneers defense leads the league in blitzes this season with 170, and they are second in the league in sacks with 32. So Goff is going to be under pressure for majority of the night. According to Pro Football Reference, what are the Bucs' quarterback knockdown percentage rate per pass attempt? What is the Buccaneers' quarterback knockdown percentage per pass attempt? Is it A, 15%, B, 10.7%, C, 9.8%, or D, 12.8%?
I'll take B, 10.7%.
Bret takes B, 10.7%, and he is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Starting out the gates here with a 7-0 lead. They have 40 quarterback hurries and 38 quarterback knockdowns so far this season. In every play, there's basically a 21% chance that Jared Goff is going to end up on the ground. So you might want to force the ball out a little fast. That's 1 every 5 passing attempts. You could get close early.
Looks like Todd Bowles came out in a soft zone.
Hey, he came out in something that wasn't right because the Rams put up 7 points in the first quarter. Let's see if Ren can keep it close early. Ren, your question. Versus the NFC this year, Jared Goff has almost, you can say he's been great. He is 6-1 with 700 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions on about 70% completion rate. So he's relatively safe with the ball. According to Next Gen Stats, what is Jared Goff aggressiveness rate percentage? Is it A, 13.7%, B, 11%, C, 16.2%, or D, 15.3%?
I have no idea. But what I know about the Rams is that lots of eye candy early. We use lots of motion. And they don't mind taking the 7 to 12 yard chunks down the field. So aggressive rate, I'm going to take the lowest one, which I believe was B, 11%.
Ren's going to take B, ladies and gentlemen, 11%, and he is wrong. The answer is A, 13.7%. He is around middle of the league. He is definitely not the worst. And he definitely, you're right. He will not force the pass in there if he doesn't have to. So you were headed in the right track, but just 1 slot lower than what it should have been. So unfortunately, Ren cannot answer the bell. So in the first quarter, Bret has a 7-0 lead.
It's all right. It's all right.
Still a long game, ladies and gentlemen. We still got a long game ahead of us.
Sun was in my eyes, for sure.
Here we go. Bret, your second question. In the second quarter, Ronald Jones is coming off a career day in his Week 10 win over the Carolina Panthers. His 23 rushing attempts and 192 yards on the ground were both career best, highlighted by the 98-yard touchdown run. What percentage does Pro Football Focus give Ronald Jones to run for over 100 yards versus the Rams? Is it A, 22%, B, 7%, C, 10%, or D, 15%?
I'll go C, 10%. Rams got a great running defense, so I'll go with the better than worst. C, 10%.
I mean, Brett came to play, ladies and gentlemen, because he is correct. The answer is 10%. The Rams are allowing 96.8 rushing yards per game. So Ronald Jones may have his hands full. We all know who's up front. We don't need to say his name. What's understood don't got to be explained. He will have a tall task ahead of him, and they give him a 10% chance.
Are these answers being tallied in Georgia?
We hope so. Ren, let's see if you can avoid a 14-0 deficit going into halftime here. Here we go.
Saints game all over again.
That's what it feels like. Here we go, Ren, your second question.
Okay.
The Rams have a three-headed monster in the backfield with running backs Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson, and Cam Akers. As a unit, they have 1,019 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns, and they all are averaging over 4 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
And according to Sharps football stats, they all have a 50% successful play rate or over a 50% success rate when running the ball. So all three of them are very successful when they have the ball in the backfield. Which player has the highest percentage? Is it A, running back Malcolm Brown, B, Darrell Henderson, or C, Cam Akers?
I'm going with Cam Akers because he gets the ball the least by far. And if I remember correctly, he had one really big run. And I think that sort of is what's helping him on the percentage. So for someone who has a higher percent, I think the fewer touches you get helps you in that. And then as he gets more touches, he might come a little bit back down to earth. But so that's my thinking. I'm going with Cam Akers. I think he went to Leon High School in Tallahassee. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, I'm going with Cam Akers.
Hey man, I wish I would have had that logic on my my financial accounting class test I just took. But unfortunately, you're wrong. The answer is B, Mr. Dependable Darrell Henderson, who's also leading the team in rushing yards, has the highest successful play rate at 62%. Cam Akers has 52%. All right. So Darrell Henderson, when he has the ball, has a 62% successful play rate. He has 76 offensive plays with 51 deemed successful by Sharps football stats. So unfortunately, I like your logic, but unfortunately, you just had the wrong person.
Yeah.
So headed into halftime here, we have a commanding 14-0 lead. Ren has to be perfect in the second half. Very similar to his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They seem to start off slow and pick it up in the second half. So
that soft zone I was talking about.
We'll see.
I might put in Gabbert. I might pull a Sean Payton and just go with Gabbert.
You might have to. Here we go. Flopping sides here to start the third quarter. Ren, your third quarter question.
Okay, I get the ball. Okay.
Aaron Donald continues to scare quarterbacks in their sleep. The two-time Defensive Player of the Year has accumulated 9 sacks and 17 quarterback hits so far this season. Seems like there's no blocking scheme that a coach has created that can stop him with the combination of size, speed, and strength. According to Next Gen Stats, what is Aaron Donald's average get-off speed? Is it A, 1.3 seconds, B, 0.85 seconds, C, 0.72 seconons, or D, 1.1 seconds?
Okay, I'm throwing out A. Is Aaron Donald quick enough to get off and under? I think he is. I have gone with the lowest one before, that thinking like Aaron Donald, he's incredible. It's got to be points. It's got to be the lowest one, and I've been burnt twice. So I'm going to throw up a Hail Mary here, because if I don't get this one, I automatically game's over already. Like it's
Yeah, he's just running the ball the rest of the
yeah,
game.
Josh Rosen might come in if I don't get this. So I'm going 0.85 for Aaron Donald's get off speed. I don't know what letter that was.
That was B, 0.85, and you somehow keep yourself in the game because you're correct. The answer is 0.85. Now, on the upside of that, it is taking Tom Brady 2.63 seconds to throw the ball, right? So you got a difference of 1.78. Tom Brady, we know, to be a decision maker. Let's see if he could be quicker, because if not, I think he's going to have a lot of meetings with Aaron Donald in the backfield come Monday night. We'll see. All right, so Ren saves the day, but unfortunately now he has to hope that Brett can have a first half like he did and score 0 points to force overtime. So Brett, here we go. Your third quarter question.
It's zero coverage, all out blitz coming, Brett. Just saying.
Hey, Tampa Bay do blitz a lot, so it wouldn't be different. Here we go. Quarterback, arguably the GOAT, Tom Brady is putting together another solid year. He is currently 4th in the league in passing yards and touchdown with a 99.6 passer rating. Not bad for probably the oldest quarterback in the league, right? According to Sharp Football Stats, in what personnel grouping does Brady have the highest successful play rate percentage when passing the ball? Is it A, 11 personnel, B, 12 personnel, C, 22 personnel, or D, 13 personnel?
That's a good question. Let me try to logic this one out. I don't think they do very many 13, so I'm going to scratch that one. The gut would be to go with 11. However, I think because Brady is a little bit on the want more protection, I'm going to go with 12. I'll go with a 12 package on that one.
So Brett takes B, 12 personnel. Hey, man, the man's on fire, man, because he is correct. The answer is B, 12 personnel. We both know how Tom Brady loves his 2 tight end packages, and he has a 56% successful play rate in that direction, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, nearly a perfect quarterback rating with 122.9 QBR when he is in 12 personnel. So he is almost automatic. We've been doing an analytical game here for the night, so we know analytically wise, this game is over.
Let me see if I can make it respectable. I'm going to keep playing. I'm a professional.
Let's play for points here. Let's
keep playing.
Let's go for garbage stats here.
Here we go. Yes, exactly.
Let's play for points here.
I've built my career off garbage stats.
Here we go.
You got to remember, I podcast is Jameis Winston's entire professional career.
For the most part.
So yeah. You know, is Jameis this good or is he not this good? You know, just record and repeat, man. Like,
here we go.
I think that subject came up once or twice.
The Rams defense currently has the 2nd best scoring defense in the league, and they are only allowing 168 points so far this season. According to TeamRankings.com, in which quarter are the Rams allowing the most points?
Okay.
Is it A, the first quarter, B, the second quarter, C, third quarter, or D, fourth quarter?
Okay. Now, I know that the Rams are leading the league, giving up the fewest points in the second half. So I'm out of my, and it's like ridiculous. It's like, Brett, is it like 31 or is it 38 or is it neither of those?
Let me do some quick math. 29 points. So I'll go with
30. I think it's 31.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just crazy talk. 31 points they've given up, you know, in the third and fourth quarter combined. So I'm throwing those out. Here's my logic to make this respectable, even though, you know, the final score is not indicative of the way the game actually went. I'm going with first quarter because that's when teams play their scripted plays. This is the best thing that we've got going against what the Rams are going to put up. So, and I'm hoping that I think Miami scored a bunch. I think Miami scored most of the points in the first quarter. So yeah, I'm going with quarter number 1. The Rams are leaky quarter number 1.
Okay, Ren says in the first quarter, hey man, teams are filling each other out, and that's when they're being the most lethal. And Ren will be wrong, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is B. In the second quarter, they are giving up 10.4 points per game in the second quarter. All right, but you're absolutely right. In the first half, in the second half, they only are giving up 4 points in the second half. Versus in the first half is 14.6. Reversely, Tampa Bay is scoring 15 points in the first half and then 14.6 in the second half. So I think a big part of this game, I think in the second half is when we'll see a lot of, I think it's going to get fun. I think that's when it'll become a chess match and we'll see a lot of adjustments made in the second half. But unfortunately, Ren didn't adjust here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So for the points, we will see if Brett can make this actually the first game we've ever had where a participant answers all 4 questions correctly. So Brett, you're going for history here in our short run so far. So Let's see if you
No
can.
pressure now,
bowl. No pressure. No pressure. Let's just see if you can bowl
Okay,
300, bat 1,000. You know, all those mythical things they say that happens in sports. Let's see if you can do it here. Here we go. Are you ready, Brett?
I am.
For 28 points to sweep it. Here we go. Brett, your question in the fourth quarter. Prior to the arrival of all-pro receiver Antonio Brown, the Buccaneers were already had a lethal receiving corps. They have 6 players with over 20 receptions, and 5 of those players have over 100 yak yards so far this season. So they have a lot of lethal weapons, and Antonio Brown just added into that mix. According to Sharps football stats, which player has the highest explosive play rate? All right. So who's doing the most highlights on that team? Is it A, tight end Rob Gronkowski, B, wide receiver Mike Evans, C, wide receiver Chris Godwin, or D, running back Leonard Fournette?
Throwing out Fournette. Throwing out Gronk. It's going to come between Evans and Goodwin. And everything. I know that Evans is the better scorer, but the question is the most
explosive. So who has the most explosive?
I'm going to go with C, Goodwin. I think that he's the most explosive.
Does he get it wrong?
Brett
Does he get it
chooses
wrong
C.
for calling Chris Godwin Goodwin?
Did I do that as well? I think I did as well. I feel like.
Oh, did you?
I don't know.
Oh, well, both. Well, then I win.
Hey, I wish sometimes it worked that way. But ladies and gentlemen, we got history here.
Yes.
Brett,
Good job, Brett.
Correct. The answer is C, Chris Goodwin. He is right. He is 3rd in the league with explosive play rate with 20%. All right. So seems
He's
like
good. He's good.
One every 5 times he touched the ball, he is effective. He has 24 receptions for 412 yards, averaging just over 12 yards per play, and 8 of those receptions are going for more than 20 yards a pop. So you're absolutely right. If they want to have an explosive play, they go to Chris Goodwin. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first sweep. Godwin, look.
Or Godwin.
Mess it up, man. How you pronounce that O throws it off a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a 28-7 win here by Brett representing the Rams. The floor is yours, sir, for this historical victory speech.
Well, I hope that it carries over into Monday Night Football. Heaven knows we need to pay him back for the 55-40 loss in LA last year. And this is one for playoff berth. So if the Rams lose, they plummet down to the 7th seed, and they have a tremendously difficult schedule. If they win, they take over the lead of the NFC West. So hopefully I've paved the way with my 28-7 win here, and maybe that's the way it'll end up on Monday Night Football. Yeah, but the nice thing about all of this is we all walk out of this healthy. So that's a plus for everybody.
Absolutely. So, Ren, you don't get a victory speech, but we will give you the floor to give you your forecast for the game.
Forecast for the game. I think, you guys have kind of touched on it. Like, this is going to be a good game. The second half is going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting if Ronald Jones is going to continue. The Rams play a lot of, sort of a bear defense, which is like basically 3 nose guards, one guy over the center, and there are 2 tackles inside the shoulders of the opposing guards. So running the ball up the middle is going to be very difficult. But I really want the Buccaneers to keep at it, even if they are just getting 2-3 yards a carry, to slow down that pass rush. But for the Buccaneers, I think it's imperative that whatever defensive game plan and offensive game plan they pick, deciding how to attack this Rams team, that it's got to be right. Like, they can't come out in a Saints game. And they've done it before, the Giants game, the Chargers game. Those defensive schemes, didn't get switched up till halftime. And with the stoutness of the Rams' second half defense, it's really hard, even with all the weapons Tampa Bay has, it's hard to go against those type of numbers and think you're going to put up 21 points in the second half and mount a comeback. So I think it's going to be, hopefully nick and tuck early. And this just might be the team that who makes the fewest mistakes type of deal. The team with no turnovers going to win the game, or the team that gets the big special teams play win the game with a punt return or a kickoff return or a punt block, something that totally flips the field and changes the momentum, where a team gets a 2-for-1 chance at scoring or a 2-for-1 scoring chance. But yeah, I'm excited. But last time I was excited, I ended up not being excited by halftime. The Saints game was the biggest game Tampa Bay had in over a decade, to be honest. You know, Bret talked about being where you are in the playoffs. If Tampa won that game, they were in first place in the NFC, sitting in the canary seat and first round bye. They lost the game, got swept by the Saints, you know, so basically they go down 2 games or 1.5 games, you know, because they lost that tiebreaker and fell to 5. Now, the good thing about being in 5 is you get to play the Eagles in the playoffs or the Giants or whoever comes out of the East. So, yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this game. I think it's good. I hope the Bucs don't continue their primetime stinkers. It's not just this year. If you look back in history, it's something that they've done continuously. But yeah, like Bret said at the very beginning, it's a toss-up. Like, you know, this game can hinge on one big play from either team's offense or defense.
I like it. So you're just gonna avoid a score there and stay safe?
Oh, a score? I'm sorry. 28-7 Bucks. No, just kidding. I think 20, 27, 20, 27, 24. I'm taking the Bucks.
I got you. Bret?
I like defense in this one. We thought that the Seahawks game was going to be a shootout. I think everybody's expecting the same kind of shootout in this one. I'm looking for a 23-16 win by the Rams.
I like it. Pretty close from like tonight's game. But hey, I have no team in the race. Ren, I am a Washington football team fan, so you're right. The NFC East is not looking very competitive. So, I mean, the 5th seed may work out better for you than versus a bye. Yeah,
and you can, when you say that, you can drop the looking. Like they're not very competitive. Like not looking very. Like just drop the looking.
Maybe it's a fact, but maybe I'm holding on. I'm optimistic.
The one thing you got
Do it,
going
man.
for you with Washington, though, is if you do not win the NFC East, you have a top 5 pick in the draft. So there you go. Your consolation prize in the East is you either get the playoffs or you get a very nice draft pick coming up. So
maybe. Maybe. Well, Bret, as the winner, you will receive a shirt that says "A Rams, hire me as a scout," and a little coaster mug. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you put drinks in it. Maybe you can have it to watch your games in it. I have no team
awesome.
race, so I am just praying for a healthy and exciting game from both teams. I think it will be this on Monday night. All right. Closing out, again, this has been a great and fun episode. I want to thank my 2 participants, Ren and Bret. I will link the information in the bottom of this video. It's a great episode, guys. I learned a lot. I love the way you diagnose some of these questions. I had a great time. But again, it's been What's the Game Plan? Thanks for watching.